last 2 years, I've noticed a lot more improvement in the quality of the monitors, of the software, and the players. One of the areas I think always still needs to keep improving is installation, site management, site studies, and that kind of thing. I think if their plan should always be to be totally digital. And when I say that, I mean right now you have a mixture of printed material versus digital material, and the whole store in the back of the house would be totally tied in to your POS system, and also to even check inventory, change prices, and be able to move on the fly. Right now you're half and half, or 1/3, 2/3, and it's not getting the full efficiency out of digital until you get more digital. The number one thing is have a true objective from the company standpoint. A lot of times they'll go in thinking, well, let's just put it in the drive-through, for example, and speed up service, and that's not an objective, that's more of a strategy. And I think you have to assign a knit group of people that are on this project all the time, because you end up having cross-functional teams that can interfere and change direction of the objective. And three, you've got to make sure you have a right budget for it. In fast food business, we want a day part. So you would change what you show at lunch versus what you show at dinner. If you're a content for advertising, you just don't just keep doing ads like you do on TV. You engage the customer and how you do it. So I think content and it also has a long way to go of, when you're dealing with a lot of the companies, who controls the content? How much does the content change cost? Can I have it done with just my software and a monthly fee? Because when you have franchisees, you don't want to hit them with different budgets all the time with these unknown costs. Franchisees have a ton of pressure on them. They're sometimes own 1 or 2 restaurants. They have a lot of cost. And you want to bring in a digital menu board, and they go, what's that going to cost me, and what's my ongoing cost? So again, that's why you have to have an objective and explain to them what your ultimate goal is. Short term, they could save some money on printing, and their workers are much happier because they're not outside changing their menu board and that type of thing. But you really have to engage them. If it starts going wrong, that thing's going off the track, because the franchisees will all stop it. And they every 10 years, in most cases, they have to change their asset. And a lot of times these assets are too old to even do digital correctly. So it's kind of, you've got to make sure they understand all the ramifications of what this entails. It really is, to me, almost, I wish there could be a standardization, because everybody will tell you they can do it. They might be good at one, they might be good at 2 things, but we don't have a standard like, does the software let you control content? Can I turn it quickly? Can I do that? And so the whole thing gets kind of out of whack that way to me, and you just have to keep focusing on what your objective is. My number one is having a true objective that the whole company embraces. It has to be, we're all in, because when you work for big companies, and I've worked for Yum before, somebody else may try to change direction, say we don't need to keep investing in this, we need to invest in this. And it gets off track, you change personnel and it gets off track. So you really, as an organization and your franchise organization, have to have that objective. 2 is content. Understanding your content, controlling your content, day parting your content. I don't think enough people, we analyze and test all the time. We keep testing at different times to seeing what could increase drink sales, for example, at the drive-through, that type of thing. So it gives you the opportunity to test. 3, budget. I don't think people understand. It's not that you don't know the cost of the hardware or the cost of the installation. It's the cost after you're up and running too. And also in installation, the extra cost of, if your company ships the player from one direction, ships the monitor from another direction, you're getting 5 shipping charges. Or are they good enough to have warehouses placed where you can ship all at once? And also understanding that when you're in the fast food business, you are in outlying places in North Dakota and stuff, and I don't need to know that I can't get you there in 3 days. You know that when you sign up. You keep learning new things. I've signed up to the newsletter. I read it every day, and I go in and I watch the stuff and see the stuff, because, you know, seeing is believing. And I was at the meeting yesterday for new members, and the one thing that keeps coming up to me is, what everybody can say they do something, but you really should check to see what their experience in your area is. Show me what you've done. I've been the victim of being a guinea pig, and that's not a fun financial way to do this thing. So make sure they know what they're doing, understand your warranties, understand this, how long this, software, how long that works, how extendable, how scalable all this is. I've been a lover of this industry since 2005, and I've been fighting it all along with corporations not understanding it. You could do it and do it in steps, but I think it's just the way to go, and I think this industry is just scratching the surface.